Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too, because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. In the heart of Washington, D.C., a city known for its power and prestige, a confrontation was brewing that would challenge the very foundations of justice. It all began on a seemingly ordinary evening when Dr. Jonathan Hayes, a respected federal law enforcement official, parked his luxury sedan outside a community center. He was there to engage with the public about police reform, a topic he had dedicated his career to improving. Little did he know, Officer Bradley Townsend was on patrol, ready to enforce his own misguided version of justice. "Get your dirty hands off that car, boy!" Townsend shouted, storming toward Hayes with an air of authority that belied his ignorance. The officer shoved Hayes against the sleek hood of his car, drawing the attention of onlookers who pulled out their phones, eager to document the unfolding drama. "Officer, I own this vehicle," Hayes replied calmly, his voice steady despite the humiliation. "Right, and I'm the president," Townsend sneered, twisting Hayes' arm behind his back. "Hands behind your head now." As the crowd grew, so did the tension. Hayes' dignity was being stripped away, not just by the officer's actions, but by the assumptions that fueled them. 6 hours earlier, DR. Hayes had started his day like any other, waking up in his suburban Virginia home, surrounded by family photos and memories of a distinguished career. He had spent years advocating for police reform, pushing for body cameras and oversight programs to combat the very misconduct he was now facing. Meanwhile, Officer Townsend was in the precinct locker room, venting his frustrations about federal oversight. "These desk jockeys don't know real police work," he grumbled to his partner, Martinez. "They think they can tell us how to do our jobs." As Hayes prepared for his community engagement, Townsend was out on patrol, targeting the same neighborhoods he always did. His radio crackled with reports he ignored, focusing instead on luxury cars driven by black professionals. At 4:45 p.m., dispatch announced surprise inspections of body camera compliance. Townsend cursed under his breath, realizing he hadn't activated his camera in months. Reluctantly, he switched it on, unaware that it would capture the moment that would change everything. The confrontation. As Hayes parked outside the community center, he checked his watch. He was early as always. Just then, Townsend's patrol car pulled up, and the officer's eyes locked on Hayes. "Good evening, officer. Is there a problem?" Hayes asked, maintaining his composure. "Don't play dumb with me," Townsend snarled, shoving Hayes against the car. "Hands on the vehicle now." "Officer, I believe there's been a misunderstanding. This is my vehicle," Hayes explained, but Townsend was already mocking him, conducting an aggressive pat-down that felt more like a performance and procedure. "Let me guess, you're a doctor or a lawyer?" Townsend taunted, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "I work for the federal government," Hayes replied, his voice steady despite the humiliation. "Federal government?" Townsend laughed, yanking Hayes' wallet from his pocket. "What are you, a janitor at the post office?" The crowd grew restless, and a woman in business attire shouted, "This is excessive force." An elderly man shook his head in disgust, but Townsend thrived on the attention, puffing out his chest like a performer on stage. "Everyone needs to step back," he barked. "This is official police business." As Townsend continued his aggressive search, he found what he had been looking for, a small plastic baggie containing white powder. With practiced movements, he slipped it under the driver's seat. Well, he announced triumphantly. "What do we have here?" "Cocaine. Felony possession with intent to distribute." "Officer, that substance is not mine, and you know exactly where it came from," Hayes said, his eyes blazing with controlled fury. "Cocaine just magically appears in cars all by itself, right?" Townsend mocked, addressing the crowd. "This is going to be a real good arrest." As the crowd recorded the encounter, Hayes turned to the nearest camera phone. "I want everyone here to remember exactly what they're witnessing. Document everything you see. Truth has a way of revealing itself." Townsend, oblivious to the mounting evidence of his catastrophic mistake, continued his theatrics. "You're about to be in handcuffs, Einstein. You don't advise anybody. But just then, Hayes' phone buzzed insistently in his jacket pocket. The caller ID read, Deputy Director Carter. Urgent. Rodriguez, Townsend's partner, felt his stomach drop. Brad, maybe we should slow down here, he whispered, sensing the gravity of the situation. Let him go because he's wearing a nice suit? Townsend scoffed. That's exactly the problem with cops today. As the crowd's outrage grew, Hayes maintained his composure. Officer, I'm requesting your supervisor respond to this scene. This situation is escalating unnecessarily. But Townsend was too far gone, his prejudice blinding him to reality before him. The climax of tension in the air was palpable, and the crowd's murmurs grew louder as they witnessed the unfolding drama. Hayes, feeling the weight of the moment, stood tall despite the humiliation. He knew that the truth would come to light, and when it did, it would expose the deep-seated issues within the system. Officer Townsend, Hayes said, his voice steady but firm, you are making a grave mistake. I am not just a man in a suit. I am the director of the FBI. You are about to ruin your career over your assumptions. Townsend paused, his bravado faltering for the first time. The crowd fell silent, the weight of Hayes' words hanging in the air. Do you really want to escalate this? You have no idea who you're dealing with, Hayes continued, his eyes locked on Townsend's, challenging him to reconsider his actions. But instead of backing down, Onsen's pride kicked in. You think your title means anything here? This is my street and I make the rules, he shouted defiantly, but the uncertainty in his voice was evident. The crowd began to murmur again, sensing the shift in the atmosphere. Phones continued to record, capturing every moment of this pivotal confrontation. Everyone here is watching, Hayes said, his voice rising above the noise. You can either choose to uphold the law or become a part of the problem. The choice is yours. To be continued. Do you want to know the fate of the heroes? Please post part 2. Subscribe to the channel and continue watching. Your opinion and support are important to me. Leave it in the comments. Thank you.